Okay, we were talking about your career, and you said that they asked you to go somewhere and you didn't go. Where was that?
The captain wanted me to go to Vietnam for 6 months. I told him I didn't lose anything over there. And I talked to guys that went, and they said bombs were landing all around them while they was trying to repair airplanes. So I was glad I didn't go.
So they gave you the option to go or
Oh
not?
yeah, you have to go.
Oh, good,
So I refused them.
good. Well, this next section is about parenthood. How long were you and Mom married before she was expecting, do you know?
Ask Creel that.
About a year, I can tell you. How did she find out she was pregnant, and when did she tell you?
Can't remember. Ask her that.
Okay. Do you remember telling your parents that they were going to be grandparents?
It's been so dang long.
Okay.
I'm sure we told them.
All right. When did you find out I was going to be a boy?
I guess they did an ultrasound.
They didn't have ultrasound back then.
Maybe we didn't know until he was born.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the case. How did you decide to name me Gary?
Creel decided that. I wanted to name me El Ray. Because you,
Thanks, Mom.
because El Ray Christiansen married us.
Ah, I see. Okay.
But she insisted on Gary.
So I was born, and it turned out I was a boy. Did you call your parents and tell them?
I don't know how we told them. We told them.
I'm just telling you thanks for not letting him name me El Ray.
How did we tell our parents?
Well, they were right there. I told you I had to go to the hospital. Your dad and mother left to go someplace, and you were running the store, but they came back in time. And we went to the hospital, so they knew we were having a baby.
Who took you to the hospital?
DeRay.
Was he in the room when the baby was born?
I don't think so, were you?
I can't remember.
I don't think so.
Okay. Did you get to go in to see the birth of any of your kids?
Did we?
No. I was there. No, I don't think he did, because I had Valerie in Salt Lake. And I remember when we had Tony, though, you were pushing on my stomach, and I thought if I could get my hands out of those things, I'd have punched him in the nose. Hurt so bad.
Yeah, I was there when in the hospital when he was born. Yeah, the doctor did tell me press this.
Well, that was Tony. That wasn't Gary.
Oh,
Oh, so you're there when Tony was born. Oh, good. Did you faint?
faint?
Yeah.
Why would I faint?
Well, some people do in those situations. Okay, so when I was born, did I have any hair?
Yes. Oops.
It was redder than heck.
Looked like you had a little fire on top of your head.
And what color was Valerie's?
Black.
Tony's?
Red.
Kim's?
Can't remember. Did Kim have hair? Must have been red. Yeah, it was red. All the boys had red.
Did you? And Val had black? That's weird.
No, it isn't. You said she looked just like an Indian.
Oh, I think she was adopted.
Well, my grandfather Crockett had red hair till he got old, and then it turned right white. But
I thought it turned white when he was young.
old.
No.
And I told Cleo before all our kids were born.
Before Gary.
I said, when you was born, I said, he's going to have red hair. She says, red? And she said, no way.
Said he wouldn't have thought
So when
about
he
it.
was born, I says, see, I told you to have red hair. He says, darn you, if you hadn't mentioned it, you would have had a thing.
He wouldn't have thought of having
He
red
wouldn't-
hair.
Oh, you didn't like red hair? Thanks a lot, Mom.
Oh, I'm tall, dark, and handsome like the man I married.
She said, if you hadn't mentioned it, you would have had a thing about having red hair.
Did you let me sleep in your room, or did I have my own room, or what, when I was baby? Dad? Did I sleep in your room?
We had a cradle in the living room. Did we? Rock house.
Oh, I stayed in the living room, huh? Hmm, interesting.
Part of the ceiling fell down one night, remember?
Yeah, I just missed you.
The ceiling fell
Yeah,
down?
it's on the plaster. There was an old rock house we lived in.
Up in Preston, you know that old rock house.
Well, I'm glad I'm still here. Between ceilings and trees. Do you remember any books that you read to me?
What?
Any books that you guys read to me?
Dick and Jane. Dick and Jane.
Books.
Dick and Jane.
Books.
Oh, books.
I remember Jonathan, Wanathan, Higgins, and McGee.
See Dick run. See
And
Jane.
the little train that could.
Well, it's after a while, after you learned.
Johnny Appleseed. Let's see. Did you have a rocking chair?
Yes, we had a rocking chair, didn't we? Yeah, we did.
Who taught your kids to ride a bike?
I did. You did too, didn't you?
Chased him up and down the street.
Did you give me chores when I was a kid? I know Val never had any.
And in the winter, he used to put your sleigh behind the car and pull you around Park Avenue back. And
I
forth.
actually remember that.
And do you remember he got up on the house and put the Santa Claus, and we had all kinds of light decorations.
You used to
Remember that?
decorate, Dad? What happened? You turned into Scrooge.
Oh, got too old. I used to decorate this house. Kids won't let me get on a ladder anymore.
That's for sure.
Quit complaining.
Let's see. What other questions could I ask? When did you let Val pierce her ears?
And she was 17.
17.
Heck, and I wished I'd have pierced mine at the same time.
Who taught me to drive?
I did.
I remember sitting on your lap and driving back and forth from Idaho to Bountiful. Do you remember that? You don't remember that? Me sitting on your lap?
Steering.
Driving?
Yeah, I remember now.
I remember one time we were driving along and I hit the gear shift and it went into a lower gear. Now, you remember that?
Holler at you.
Probably. So tell me what happened to Kim. How old he was and
He was
What
born
took place?
too early.
he was born too early?
Yes, he only weighed 5 pounds and something. And everybody told me, I had several people tell me when he should have been born, that's when they get the sickest. And that's what he did. He was about 6 weeks early, and about 6 weeks old, he got sick. And we took him up to the doctor, didn't we? Took him up to Arvid Cutler. And he just kept getting sicker and sicker.
And he just gave him a shot of penicillin.
Gave him a shot and he didn't even cry. He was that sick. And then we brought him home and he died in the middle of the night and Arvid Cutler came to the house. Pronounced him dead.
How many days after he went to the doctor was that?
Just the next day.
The next day? How long had he been sick?
2 days.
Wow. That's unbelievable. Well, but that was pretty tough.
It was.
And some people say, and Phil thinks that he was allergic to milk. Valerie was allergic too, wasn't she?
No, one of Valerie's kids was, and they asked Valerie if she had lost a brother or anything. They thought maybe it was inherited.
Oh,
Kimmy was, you know, she couldn't have milk the first year.
I'll be darned.
But I don't know. Arvid Cutler didn't know.
They called everything pneumonia.
I thought
No
maybe if I'd
matter
have
what they died of,
got him to
if they didn't know, they just said pneumonia.
Dr. Scablin in Lewiston, but we didn't know. We just took him to Arvid Cutler, the one that delivered him.
Huh.
They didn't know nothing in those days.
How often did you go on family vacations when we were kids?
The only place we went was California because my sister lived there.
Took each one of our kids to Disneyland twice. And the first time you went running out in the water, you was so excited and a big wave hit you and you turned around and come back just a-bawling.
Yeah, I've seen the movie.
We used to go down and stay with Joyce.
Was it, so you went to California and to the ocean and stayed with Joyce and Vern?
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever go with your sons on a scout camp?
I was a scout, but I couldn't swim, so I just got to a Star Scout, is it? I never did get an Eagle.
You didn't either, did you?
I didn't either because I couldn't swim. But did you ever go with us on a camp out?
We didn't go too much camp outs.
Did you ever go with Gary? You went with Tony on a trip that you
Yeah,
tell
when there's-
everybody about that.
I went with you.
Down the Snake River. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Tom Scott and all them.
Is that the funnest trip you ever went on?
Should I tell them about the bad trips I went on?
I remember you sat in the boat, the raft, and held your shoes up so they wouldn't get wet and made everybody else paddle for you. I remember that.
I don't remember that.
You went on a scout trip with Tony?
Yeah, I went to Lake Powell. You heard that?
Oh, that was a Lake Powell trip, huh?
That was the
Ah.
big story.
That has a
Okay.
kid nearly drowned.
You
Did-
went with Gary because Tom and Rob and those kids were older, and Gary wasn't quite old enough. But if you went, then he could go. I think is how come you went with him that time, because you weren't as old as those other kids.
Did you ever get a phone call from the police about one of your kids?
Yes.
Yeah, wasn't me. Who was it?
Well, Tony stayed downstairs and he slipped
No,
out.
He did not. He's in this room right here.
He's downstairs and he crawled out the window, and him and the Bishop boy,
Kevin Taylor.
Kevin Taylor, and all those kids. In the middle of the night, they'd sneak out through the basement window, go up on Orchard, and wake all the girls up. And the police called us, says, "Come and get your boy."
I said, he's right here in this room asleep. And I opened the door, and the window was open, and he'd gone out that window right there. He used to sleep up here till he moved down the basement.
Anyway, Glenn Taylor, he was up getting his boy, and Glenn says, "Kevin, "What are you doing up here?" He said, "Oh, I couldn't sleep, so I just thought I'd go for a walk."
And what did Tony say?
I don't know.
What's the matter with that kid?
Did you ever help your kids with their homework?
They were what?
Help your kids with their homework?
They're smarter than me.
I helped them.
They had to help me. They had to help me.
Did you ever teach your kids sports? Were you ever a coach in any of their games?
Oh, I used to go to Tony's your basketball game.
But you weren't ever the coach?
No.
Okay, if you had to do one thing different as a parent, what would it be that you would do different?
Oh, I don't know if I'll do anything different.
Did you ever beat your kids?
I'd like to.
I spanked Tony good.
Put me in jail for child abuse.
How did you feel when your last one, your little boy Tony, moved out? Was that hard on you?
No, not hardly. You kicked him out one day.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, gosh.
Okay, which is better, being a parent or being a grandparent?
Well, if I had granddaughters, that would be a heck of a lot better. Oh, Brenda getting a girl.
Katie was a granddaughter.
Well, I'm talking about great-grandkids.
Well, I'm talking about which was better, grandparent or parent?
Well, parent, of course, but grandparent was great. I'm mad at Katie because she won't let me tend Mason. I used to tend her. If I was good enough to tend her, I must be good enough to tend Mason.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, good job, Dad. Anything else you want to say?
Quit wiping your nose with that dirty.
You want a root beer?
We got